Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down. And the proof's in the results. It works.
Hope it's always like this.
David loved his wife more than anything.
I've never seen David so happy before.
By next March, I'm gonna be a dad. That's amazing news. Congrats, you two.
But when she was taken from him, all he wanted was revenge. Nothing is more powerful.
Only God can help us now. Where was God when my wife was shot?
Than the power of forgiveness.
Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good.
70 times 7.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
When you're facing stubborn stains, you're always in a fierce fight. Clean Soft kicks out stains. Kimateki.
Through the automated parking system, you can now pay for parking in 3 stress-free ways. Using M-Pesa through the USSD code *486*12#. Or using cash at the CAPS payment points located in the parkings, or using your preloaded CAPS A card. No payment will be done at the exits.
Na wewe, unamjuaje?
I was his fiance.
Cheka Storo kibao na 200% Storo bonus. Piga simu zaidi, tuma SMS au nunua bundles ufikishe target yako leo. Isitoshe, pata 50% extra airtime unapotop up na kupiga *544*2* amount hash. Safaricom, for you.
Protect yourself against coronavirus by using Amara antibacterial hand sanitizer that will effectively clean your hands and eliminate disease-causing virus while you're on the go.
We have come from far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
PesaLink is the cheapest way to send and receive money instantly into your bank account, anytime, anywhere. Use PesaLink today in 3 easy steps. Step 1. Select PesaLink on your bank app or USSD. Step 2. Select either send to phone or send to account. Step 3. Input the phone number or account number to send money to and confirm the transaction. PesaLink. Easy, affordable, instant.
Usingoje hadi dakika ya mwisho. Pimwa kwenye hospitali ya serikali. matibabu inapatikana bila malipo. TB inakinga na tiba.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
This is NTV.
Live from the Nation Center, this is NTV at 1. My name is Ken Mijungu with a quick news update for you. And many churches and other places of worship heeded to the government's directive of not opening their doors for worshippers today. Right here in Nairobi, the main churches remained shut, the pews empty as faithful kept away from the physical places of worship. In some instances, the police were deployed to ensure that worshippers did not access the buildings. The government had asked religious leaders to ensure that the worshippers stayed away as one of the ways of enforcing the social distancing dictates as one way of stemming the spread of the coronavirus. Others sought divine intervention and spiritual nourishment online. Right, that was the situation this morning, but we're still talking about not going to church. And two pastors in Bungoma have been arrested for flouting the government's directive of not conducting or attending Sunday church services. The two pastors, Godfrey Njoroge of Apostolic Faith Ministries, Mafutu, and Pastor Kevin Wekesa of Jehovah's Witness, Manyanja, were arrested, but their congregants managed to escape. The two claimed they were not aware of the ban on the church gatherings, which I doubt. They are currently being held at the Bungoma Town Police Station. Zacchaeus Mwasame is in Bungoma now, joins us with the latest. Zacchaeus, this claim that they were not aware that the gatherings were banned, is it really valid? I don't think there's any part of the country that is not aware that there's a ban in gathering. But tell us more from Bungoma. What exactly happened here?
Thank you so much, Ken. We are coming to you live from Bungoma here. And like you rightly mentioned, there were two pastors who were arrested earlier on, but some few minutes to one, another one has been arrested in Kibabii. That is a pastor, that is Stanley Wafula of this church known as Repentance and Holiness Church. He has just been arrested some few minutes ago, and he has been taken to Bungoma Police Station. Bring the number of those who have been arrested here to three pastors, those who are defying the government order not to converge, not to meet, not to bring people together, just with respect to making sure that they take precautions in the spread of COVID-19. And one of the pastors was heard, finally saying that no, don't come. He was telling a police officer that sisi tumekuja tu kuchukua sadaka. That was actually something that is very funny. Taking money at the expense of risking people's lives. That is very unfortunate, Ken. And they have been taken there. And then the latest one was a different one. This pastor has taken people and taken them to a house. You know that the government is looking for churches. The churches have been closed, but he's congregated them in a house. So they are trying to come up with tricks maybe to make sure that they also meet, but it is very unfortunate. And therefore, and then this latest pastor is saying that they have never heard on radio, not on TV, that the government has banned the congregation. And so therefore, it is something very funny, but again, also risking people's lives. So we are also been informed that there are more pastors who are meeting interior, especially those in the remote villages. They want to run up and down with the police, meeting at the expense of people's lives. So Ken, it is very unfortunate. But the police officers here are saying that they are not going to leave any stone unturned in making sure that the enforce the laws put in order by the government, and making sure that all pastors, all religious leaders follow the law to the letter. Also, you remember that the other week also we had a case here in Bungoma where two fathers, yesterday priests from the Catholic Church also were summoned by police for allegedly carrying out masses. And it's something that is becoming a great concern, especially in Bungoma County. In Busia, we have seen that most churches have complied, the churches have been remained closed, and that is a very good gesture. But in Bungoma, police are saying that they are going to take this very seriously, and they will not allow this to happen in any future. Ken?
Right, Zacchaeus, thank you for your live report from Bungoma and the claims that they're not aware that the government had banned gatherings, and saying that they were collecting offerings in church. It's really disturbing indeed. But let's come back to the capital. Kennedy Muredi now joins us live from the streets of the capital. Kennedy, obviously we know this is a Sunday, and usually Sundays are technically and typically empty days in the capital, but this is compounded by the fact there's a curfew. It might look different. What are you saying from where you are?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Ken, there in studio. And we are here at the tea room. This is the main stage for all people who are going to Meru. And there are various vehicles here who are even telling us that in the next 1 hour, people will not be coming to this particular place because the journey from Nairobi to Meru is actually about 4 hours. So the last vehicle that needs to leave here will actually leave at 3 o'clock. And if they do leave past that, then they will be finding themselves in trouble, because at 6:59, everybody is expected to be in their houses. So if you're found outside the realm of where you're supposed to be at that particular hour, then it is trouble that you're bringing yourself upon the government. So everybody is actually trying to adjust to the new world order, and this is what it is all about. Even the journalists you see are conforming. We are meeting different people every day, and if we do not take care about what we are doing on a daily basis, we do not know even the people that we are interviewing every day, whether they have come into contact with people that have this particular virus. So this is what we are adjusting to. At this particular stage, just before I start talking to them, is that they are also adjusting to what is happening. Even the vehicles themselves are not supposed to carry more than 8 people, as had been advised by the government. So even some of them are telling us that they have to adjust to that, even in the sense that they do their affairs. Just to talk to some of them, sijui hii mambo mnaiona vipi, na nyinyi wenyewe kama wahudumu wa matatu mnafaidika ama mnaumia zaidi?
Tunaona serikali tuletee madaktari, hata ituletee madaktari tu kwa mastenji wa kupima watu abiria wakiingia kwa gari, na ituongezee hata kama ni masaa mawili, tuwe tunafunga kazi saa 3 hivyo. Sasa hakuna gari inaenda saa 9. Hakuna magari inaweza enda usiku.
Ukisema magari haiwezi enda saa 9 unamaanisha nini?
Ikienda saa 9 mahali inaenda kama ni Meru, itafika saa 1, itafikia kwa njiani, na ukifika kwa njiani askari anakuambia shuka, wanaanza kupiga dereva. Hivyo ndivyo kuko.
Na kama fare mnalipishanga pesa ngapi, na kwa sasa hivi mnalipisha pesa ngapi?
Sasa hivi abiria moja analipishwa 1,000, juu kiti moja inaenda bila mtu. Kwa hivyo ule abiria anaumia bando. Juu hiyo kiti kingine ni hata rikaba. Na mbeleni ilikuwa 500. Sasa hii gari ile inabeba watu kama ni 14, inabeba watu 7. Kwa hivyo pia kwa matatu tunaumia. Ndio maana unaona imbazi ya Meru Ken Silver sasa wamefunga juu ni choma.
Well, that is the reality that we are living into. And that is basically what is happening just here at one of the stages here in Tea Room. And most people are traveling to different places, and everybody here in Nairobi is also trying to adjust to this new way of life as they try to maintain even the social distancing in the matatus. And all those people who are being given, who are traveling, have to make sure that they do that according to what the government has been advising. So this is what basically the new reality is, not just in Nairobi but in most parts of the country, as the government tries to make sure that they stop the spread of this particular virus that has caught the world by storm. Right now, I take you back to Ken in studio, as you also try to get views from most parts in this country and in this Nairobi on what the curfew has been to them and what it is affecting them. For these matatu operators, they have to ask you to cough more as you travel so that they can take advantage, or as they make sure that they make maximum profits from what they are gaining. But that is the new reality, Ken. And we'll be talking to more people just to know how this happens and what next. Back to you, Ken, in studio.
Kenneth Muraidhi in the streets of Nairobi, thank you very much. There's a gentleman behind you. I don't know what the gentleman was displaying right behind Kenneth Muraidhi, but at least you're keeping it safe with the mask and the glove, and obviously you are keeping social distance. And we'll try and speak to Eunice Omolo, who is also within Nairobi. But first, let's take you to Mombasa, where the health officials in Mombasa took advantage of the curfew to conduct a disinfection exercise in the central business district. Now, since the outbreak of the deadly virus in the country, one patient has tested positive in Mombasa with several other people and suspected cases in quarantine. Kevin Mutai has more.
Firefighting personnel in Mombasa disinfected sidewalks, stalls and even shopping centers on Saturday night as residents remained indoors. The coronavirus has kept health authorities on their toes, especially after positive cases were reported in 3 coastal counties, Mombasa, Kwale and Kilifi.
We are going to ensure that we have fumigated our town so that we make our residents safe. And we have decided to do this exercise at this time because most of the residents are at home. We can be able now to do our work as is required.
The fumigation focused on main roads such as Jomo Kenyatta Avenue, Moi Avenue, Makupa Causeway, Digo Road, among others. The Mombasa County Health Department said that the exercise would also be conducted on the most visited buildings across the county.
We will extend this exercise even to Likoni and Kisauni to ensure that Changamwe, to ensure that our areas are properly fumigated, so that we try to mitigate this virus which has become epidemic, and to ensure that our people are safe.
The authorities maintain that responding to the COVID-19 pandemic requires new strategies galvanized by the will of the people. But the appeal for the people to stay at home and adhere to social distancing guidelines still remains a challenge, as law enforcement officers maintain that even more stringent measures will be instituted to keep the virus at bay. Tracing of people who came into contact with some of the positive cases in the region is still going on, as health officials also prepare to conduct massive tests on those who were placed in self-quarantine to ascertain their status. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
Now, 3 people died Saturday evening following an accident at Sachangwan area, that's along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. The 3, who included a rider, his 2 passengers succumbed to injuries after their motorcycles hit from behind by a trailer. According to witnesses, the boda rider was riding at high speed to beat the 7 p.m. curfew imposed by the government to curb the spread of the coronavirus in the country. 2 of the victims died on the spot, while others died at the Molo Sub-County Hospital, where he had been rushed for treatment. Local political leaders now want the police to exercise some caution while enforcing the curfew. Still on curfew, the second night of the curfew witnessed fewer dramatic scenes as compared to the first night. However, arrests were made in parts of the country, even as Kenyans rushed to beat the 7 p.m. deadline. The second night of the curfew also experienced heavy downpour in many towns across the country.
A young man's desire to reap where he had not sowed landed him behind bars when he was arrested by police officers in Ngong, Kajiado. Police say he was breaking into a salon. The county administration team, together with the police, has warned individuals in the area against taking advantage of the curfew to break the law.
Kuanzia kesho saa 1 tafadhali uwe ndani ya nyumba. Hatutaki kuwa tuchelewe kama leo vile mmechelewa. Hatutaki kuwa tunakimbizana, maana hii ni agizo la rais na ni za kusaidia wewe mwenyewe.
In Kiambu, residents were indoors by 7 p.m. as businesses closed almost an hour before the deadline. It was a cat and mouse game for those who defied the order and the police. Despite the uncertain times, some traders are enjoying a boom, among them border operators. In Trans Nzoia, traders in Kitale town have accused police of harassment. Armed police officers on patrol are claimed to have demanded foreclosure of business premises in Kitale town before the deadline. Traders selling perishable goods have called on the government to allow them to sell their goods till 7 p.m. Trans Nzoia County Commissioner Sam Ojwang had earlier ordered police to ensure order in Kitale town. This as the county reports a suspected case of COVID-19 currently on isolation at Mount Elgon Hospital awaiting results. The patient is said to have recently travelled from USA via South Africa and arrived in the country on the 20th. In Makueni, as the curfew took effect, passengers and mourners from Mombasa to various destinations were caught up in the confusion along Mombasa-Nairobi highway. In one of the buses, several passengers had to spend their night inside the vehicle at Makindo in Makueni. For those transporting bodies for burial upcountry, they were not spared along the highway as well and had to park by the roadside until morning to continue on their journey. In Kitui County, all shops in Mwingi town were closed by 7 p.m. as the curfew kicked in. Only dogs and donkeys would be seen on the streets. Thika Garissa Highway was also clear in Mwingi town, a popular stopover for commuters. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
As expected, criminals would try and take advantage of the situation, and a man on Saturday was also arrested and bang of unknown value impounded at the Baharini roadblock along the Eldoret to Webuye Highway. Police manning the roadblock say the man was transporting about 71 packages of bang. His vehicle was also impounded. Police are warning criminals not to take advantage of the curfew to commit crimes.
Ilionekana kwamba zile vitu alikuwa amebeba ndani ya gunia na handbag ilikuwa ni bangi, na hii ni bangi ile inaitwa sash ya kutoka nchi ya Ethiopia, na mshukiwa mwenyewe alikubali ya kwamba hii bangi ilitoka katika nchi ya Ethiopia. Na ukiona kama ingeingia katika jamii, watoto wetu wengi na wasasi wangeathiriwa na tungepata matatizo.
A children's home in Baringo County is in dire straits after donations to the home dwindled in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak. Sunrise Children's Home has been dependent on donations from visitors, but the social distancing rule means the home is not receiving as many visitors as they would wish to have.
The only home these abandoned children know. They rely on the donations of visitors to get a meal on the table. This has worked well in the past, but the coming of the coronavirus pandemic has turned the tide here.
Wakati hule corona haikuwa imekuja, tulikuwa na saidiwa na jamii ama wenye well wishers wale wanatutembelea kukuja kusaidia kutoka mashule, kutoka kanisani, kutoka corporate institutions, lakini wakati huu tunaona ya kwamba wote wako nyumbani na tutatarajia any support kutoka hawa.
The home's food stock is dwindling fast. As it stands, if they don't get help, in the next 3 weeks, they will have nothing to eat.
Hatuna namna ya kuweza kujitegemea hatuwezi kufanya support mobilization of resources vile tulikuwa nafanya.
Earlier, the Ministry of Education had ordered the closure of all schools, including children's homes. However, closing this home would send the already disadvantaged children into the unforgiving streets.
Hawa watoto ni watoto wenye wazazi wao walikufa na jamii wahusika hawakupatikana. Relatives wa hawa watoto hawakupatikana.
Brenda Wanga, NTV.
And as the coronavirus pandemic fears grow in the country, Mandera County is leaving nothing to chance in combating the spread of the same. The county government has formed a multi-agency task force to spearhead the exercise. The health department has put isolation structures across 6 sub-county hospitals as part of the strategies to prepare to fight against the COVID-19. Ahmed Maulid is our man up north and he now joins us live. But Maulid, perhaps why are you doing the link not on the States as we would expect you normally?
Thank you, Ken. Yes, the reason why I'm home is that when government says stay home to stay safe. So it's like I'm just following the rules for me to be safe from the coronavirus. We know the consequences it can have. I'm still young and want to live long. This is precautionary measures. Moving on Mandera County, the whole country is on high alert following the confirmation of the epidemic coronavirus in the country. Every county, the 47 counties in the country is on high alert, preparing and doing whatever they can should the disease arrive at their doors. Mandera counties have not been left behind. They have prepared several measures to put in place. And one of them, as you said, the county government, the health department, which is the leading task force in this fight against the epidemic, has put in place isolation structures across six sub-counties, meaning that across the 6 counties, that is Mandera North, that is Ramu, which is its headquarters, Banisa, Mandera West, that is Takaba, Elwa and Kutulo, which is the entry gate of Mandera County, which means they are not taking lightly in this fight when it comes to the fight of the epidemic disease in this county. As you know, early this week, the county government led by the county government leaders led by Mandera governor has taken a 30% pay cut and to contribute that amount of money to the health task force, of which will help the fight and to help fight against the disease. And still, the county government has also put other several measures, of which is its own initiative to combat the epidemic disease. And being one of them is that it has banned the transportation, the consumption, and the business of khat, meaning that it is considering the nature how the khat is distributed in the market sale and the number of hands it passes while the transaction of the khat goes on. It is one of the measures, though it has met a lot of resistance from the Mira traders, but the government said it is determined to make sure that they don't give a chance to the epidemic here. Ken?
Right, thanks Mohammed Maulid reporting there from the north and complying with the government directive to stay home, and I think it's a good thing leading by example. Moving on, the government has begun distributing about 130,000 liters of free hand sanitizers to the members of the public to counter the spread of the deadly coronavirus in the country. The alcohol-based sanitizers produced through a partnership between Kenya Pipeline Company and select private sector players, all packed in 500 ml bottles for households use and 20 liters containers for institutions such as health centers, police stations, market centers, and other places where Kenyans request the essential services. Now, the distribution exercise will be overseen by respective county commissioners in all the 47 counties, with priority being given to counties that have confirmed COVID-19 cases, and there are 5, followed by those that are potential hotspots. All right, time now for a short break on NTV at 1, but I'll be back with more, including sports. Stay with us.
Rashes again? Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Buy diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
Stay safe. Go digital. Reduce the use of cash and the risk of contamination. Enjoy the convenience and security of PesaPap mobile banking and Family Bank internet banking solutions anytime, anywhere. During this period, money transfer services, PesaLink and balance inquiry from your Family Bank account across all channels are free. For customers with existing facilities who may need support or extension of their repayments, talk to us. Terms and conditions apply. Prevent COVID-19. Family Bank. With you for life. Family Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi now says President Kenyatta-led government did not clearly think through the curfew that is currently in effect. According to Mudavadi, the scenes witnessed, including police brutality, shows a system that was in a rush to implement an idea that had not been well planned. He now wants the implementation conducted differently with the interest of Kenyans at heart.
Clearly, there's a yawning gap between policy formulation and policy implementation. The brutality that we have seen, especially in Likoni, is a reflection of failure to plan for the curfew. Curfews are not just imposed and implemented unless you're dealing with a hostile population in a sudden and violently disruptive situation. Curfews must be methodically planned for and all contingent considerations thought through and mitigated. In this case, there's a clear failure on the part of the government. As citizens, we call upon them to get back to the drawing boards.
Let's move on. Water companies operating in Kiambu County have been urged to keep water flowing in taps. At this time, the country is fighting the coronavirus regardless of the water bills. Speaking when he toured some water companies in the county in an effort to strike a deal, Governor James Nyoro said constant flow of water for people at home was a key element in the fight against the virus. Nyoro said more measures will be announced in the coming week to cushion Kiambu residents against the virus and ensure the comfort of residents as he urged them to stay at home.
With effect from next week, there will be no water disconnections. So yes, you may not have paid your bill and we encourage you to pay your bill, but if for any reason you have not paid your bill, they should be careful not to disconnect you. But that does not mean that you not pay. You still pay after this period, just to make sure that the water is flowing.
Political leaders in Taita Taveta took the opportunity of a burial to educate residents of the seriousness and sensitivity of the first-spreading disease that has forced countries across the world into a lockdown. It was a burial for a politician, unlike others. During the burial ceremony of the late Mbale Ward Member of County Assembly, Beatrice Mwambili, about 15 people were present and 1 meter social distance rule was observed. Hundanyi Member of Parliament, Danson Mwashako, urged the residents to adhere to newly laid down measures towards controlling the spread of the pandemic. Taita Taveta Women Rep Lydia Haika, who was also present at the burial ceremony, encouraged the residents to make good use of the day and avoid movements during the late hours. The two condemned the use of excessive force in implementing the evening curfews. because that's the message that should be carried across the board. The global coronavirus death toll surged past 30,000 over the weekend as Europe and the United States endure the darkest days of the crisis. Europe alone accounted for more than 20,000 fatalities, where hardest hit, that includes Italy and Spain. Now, each reported more than 800 deaths in one day.
The coronavirus toll in Italy shot past 10,000 on Saturday and showed little sign of slowing despite a 16-day lockdown. The 889 new fatalities reported in the world's worst-hit nation came a day after it registered 969 deaths on Friday, the highest single toll since the COVID-19 virus emerged last year. Italy now looks certain to extend its economically debilitating and emotionally stressful business closures and the ban on public gatherings past their April 3rd deadline. Spain toughened its nationwide lockdown on Saturday, halting all non-essential activities as it stepped up its fight against the deadly coronavirus epidemic that has so far claimed 5,690 lives. Spain has the world's second highest coronavirus death toll after Italy, losing another 832 people over the last 24 hours as the number of cases soared to 72,248. Despite the grim 24-hour death toll, health chiefs said the rate of infections was slowing, suggesting that the epidemic was nearing its peak. In France, which has seen close to 2,000 deaths, Prime Minister Edouard Philippe warned the battle was just beginning. The British toll passed 1,000 on Saturday, while Belgium saw a steep climb in deaths, with 353 recorded on Saturday, up from 289 the day before. Russia said it will close its borders on Monday despite reporting relatively low levels of the virus. A backflip from US President Donald Trump on quarantining New York highlighted the panic and confusion across many parts of the world in trying to contain the pandemic, which has seen more than a third of humanity placed under unprecedented lockdowns. Officials in some countries have warned that the worst is yet to come. But in the Chinese city of Wuhan, where the virus first struck late last year, officials took tentative steps back towards normality, partially reopening it after more than 2 months of near total isolation for its 11 million residents.
Now, in a race to rescue stranded cruise passengers aboard the Dutch Zaandam cruise ship, the transfer of patients to another vessel in Panama has begun as the death toll hit 4. Now, the deceased are elderly passengers, with the vessel unable to dock at any ports in South America after scores of people aboard fell in with flu-like symptoms.
Panama's government on Saturday permitted a cruise ship on which 4 passengers have died to travel through its canal, a day after blocking it over coronavirus fears. The government said it decided to allow the ship to pass to provide humanitarian help, but stressed that no passenger nor member of the crew can disembark on Panama soil. More than 130 people, both passengers and crew, have been taken ill on the Zaandam, which had more than 1,800 people on board. The Zaandam cruise ship has been stranded at sea since March 14th after several South American ports refused to let it dock due to dozens of people aboard having shown flu-like symptoms. Earlier Saturday, Panama's maritime authorities said healthy passengers were being evacuated from Zaandam to another ship, the Rotterdam. The Panama officials say they expect the Rotterdam to return to San Diego, where it left to come to the Zaandam's aid with food, medicine, testing kits and medical staff. The Zaandam is heading to Fort Lauderdale in Florida, but must pass through the Panama Canal to reach it.
Right, this is an interesting story. We witnessed such here at home, and let's take you to India, where a police officer in Chennai has gone above and beyond his usual line of duty to sensitize the residents. Officer Rajesh Babu has found a new way to draw the attention of the public when it comes to taking precautions against the COVID-19 outbreak. Now, the officer wears a helmet designed like the coronavirus. He dons the helmet every time he is on duty on the Chennai streets. He explains that the helmet is supposed to make people take the pandemic seriously. The helmet was designed by a local artist in India. Now, India is on a 21-day lockdown to limit the spread of the virus. The country has reported 987 cases and 25 deaths. All right, time now to play. And UEFA president has told the Italian newspaper La Repubblica that there were a number of options for concluding the season, which has been brought to a halt around Europe by the corona pandemic. According to Seferin, that's the president, there is a plan A, B, and of course C, which are options which are to start again in mid-May, at the start of June, or at the end of June. The head of the European soccer governing body, the current season could be lost if it is unable to restart by the end of June. Although he did not rule out extending it into the next season, he added that finishing domestic leagues was a priority for UEFA, even if it meant playing behind closed doors. And Manchester City have made the Etihad Stadium available to the National Health Service as the United Kingdom continues to fight against the coronavirus crisis. The Premier League champions are understood to have offered the stadium's executive bosses and conference rooms to help the NHS with training of doctors and nurses during the pandemic. Professional football in England will not resume until 30th at the earliest. Additionally, as part of the contingency planning for the ongoing crisis, the Principality Stadium in Cardiff is set to be converted into temporary hospital, providing around 2,000 additional beds. And Italian football club Juventus have reached an understanding with the first team and coach over the compensation reduction for the remaining part of the season equal to 4 months' pay. According to a statement released by the Italian champions, the total worth of the pay cut is to the tune of 90 million euros for the 2019-2020 financial year. Aside from the pay cuts, personal agreements with coach Maurizio Sarri and the players will also be finalized in the coming weeks. Italy's top fight league, Serie A, has been suspended since March 9th, with Italy having the highest number of deaths in any country from the virus so far. 3 Juventus players have so far tested positive for COVID-19. Right, 25 minutes to the top of the hour. That's all we had for you on NTV at 1. Zainab Ismail will be back here on NTV tonight. Of course, we have 7 p.m. That's on NTV. John is with Jane Goeri, so stick around. Have a good afternoon. Make sure you observe the simple basic rules the government is asking. Self-isolate, social distance, wash your hands, and of course use hand sanitizer. And if you don't have to come to town or go out of your homes, stay at home. And if you have to come to town, observe the curfew hours, because 7 p.m. is the deadline. You have to be out of your homes. Have a good afternoon and enjoy the rest of our programs.
This is NTV.
Molfix breathable surface developed with Airsoft technology is very soft and provides the best Molfix skincare.
I found the best diaper for my baby's sensitive skin.
All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. Panadol Extra, now with new Optizorb technology, to fight multiple tough pains with 3 times more pain-relieving medicine in the first 30 minutes when you need it most. Seeing them support themselves makes any pain worth it. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Kiungulia na kuvimbiwa? Ino inatibu ndani ya sekunde 6 na inatuliza dalili 6 za kiungulia. Kwa hivyo unaweza kuburudika bila kikomo. Ino, tibu haraka kiungulia na tumbo kuvimba.
if I try to crouch, I'm unable to lift myself up. I would not be able to lift my hand to get the comb to comb my hair.
It's actually a breakdown in communication between the nerve and the muscle.
Stress, pregnancy, menstrual periods. What is the connection?
Things that potentially could affect the receptors for the chemical called acetylcholine.
So the conversation is myasthenia gravis, abbreviated as MG.
The stigma is there, first of all, is you're lazy or you're pretending.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Yes, if it is Friday, you know, it's all about TTTTN, the trend. And this is Antonio Soul, and I am joined today, as you guys will notice, that we are social distancing. In 1918, we had the first influenza outbreak, and in 1982, we had the coup, and obviously, the presidents then, they directed that people stay at home, and they had a curfew. And for the first time, we were going down in history, in our history books, that we are also caught up in this whole melee. But today, thanks to digital migration and movement and just being smart, we have social distance ourselves to bring us closer to you and bring the trending topics to you. We have we have Butita.
What up? Yeah.
What's up, Butita?
Curfew edition.
Yes.
I'm doing fine. I'm proud to be part of exempted services.
I know essential services.
Essential services.
I didn't know jokers, comedians are essential, but anyway.
No. The company I'm working for is essential.
We also have one and only General Theodore.
Oh yes, jambo mingi, jambo Kenya.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to curfews, nimeona curfew mingi sana.
Kwa aje sasa?
1918, I was there. Sinilikuwa hapo.
Some of you probably know him as Uncle Wakail, and also we have from home, working from home literally, we have one and only Daddy Mato.
Advantages of very good fast Wi-Fi. Bwana asifiwe.
Okay, this is the thing, guys, is that we do everything to make sure that even though they're at home, tunaweza kuwaona. Lakini shida ni kama Daddy Mato hana internet. Who are we? How far can the company go?
Alikuwa anatumia Wi-Fi ya bana zilifungwa.
Butita. Finally vitu tena.
Anyway, guys, we gotta go. These are the highlights for today's show. I can tell you guys, it's gonna be quite interesting, and all of you guys stay at home and keep it locked. Conde girl. Now imagine all the ladies at home, you're dating Harmonize. Only for you to realize you are Conde girl, but he's not Harmonize. Kwa Tanzania kweli. Ai.
Gari hilo la kubebea wagonjwa mahututi.
GTA, the Kenyan version. Somebody decided to steal an ambulance and ended up crashing the ambulance. I mean, I don't know what form of essential or non-essential driving skills this one received, but kuiba ambulance only on TTTT. We're just trying to do our jobs as journalists, and this particular police officer decided to invoke the former police force and using force on one of our cameramen right there, John Wainaina. A sad thing to see and watch happening in Likoni. Peter Wainaina, Kunrathi, Peter Wainaina, something very quite sad to watch. We're going to be breaking down that for you later, and really breaking down what are those essential services that mnafaa mtuzoee kidogo. All I'm worried about this thing is, why did everyone keep touching this metal bar? I don't understand. But anyway, on state of mental health in Mombasa, we have the lowdown on what actually happened right after that went viral. Yes, and it is time for us right about now to break down the stories that were trending this week. And we start off with the Mombasa barrier. I don't know if you guys watched this viral clip where everybody, I don't know why, but there's a certain turn. When they're turning, everybody has to touch the chuma. I don't understand where that came from. But also at a time where we should stay away from surface and from people. Watu wa Mombasa waliamua, ona, 1, you could even count, 2, someone else. You could even bet the next guy is gonna do it. 3, 4. Butita. Nini? Ni nini hii kwani nile chuma ya?
Jana naweza advise watu waache kushika chuma. Juwezi jua watu wangapi wanashika hiyo chuma.
Manze.
Unaona
nikuulize ni prop ni
na kuna zile vitu zenye zile vitu reflex action. Aha. Umezoea kupita hivyo unajipata tu umekashika. But I saw walikata hiyo place, ndio?
Yes.
Which is a good thing. Juu una imagine mtu mmoja akona hiyo virus angeshika hapo.
Yeah.
Hiyo ndio ungeanza kutrace watu kawa ngapi hapo. Lakini juu naona unaweza tu pitia kando, but lazima kuna kautamu mtu anataka kufila hapo.
Ati kuna utamu ya kushikilia. Ati hebu please say it as a full sentence. Kwa nini?
Watu wanapenda chuma sana.
Theodore.
You know, Anto, mimi nimekubaliana kwamba chuma ni chanzo cha magonjwa mengi. Chuma. Ukisikia na katika mfano katika sentensi, chuma chako kiko motoni. They know what they're talking about.
You know, the problem with today's show is that there are no ladies. So now ile ufala iko hapo, acha kwambie. Daddy Mato. Nini uko kwenu?
Siati niko na mama, but wacha ni ladies kidogo. Ya hii chuma. Hiyo chuma sababu ilikuwa hapo ni kwa sababu ilikuwa mahali haifa. Hiyo the building, which is a mosque, is situated at a place where it's not really supposed to be. It's extending almost close to the road. So the chuma was standing there in case a car just, loses control, it hits the mosque. So that's why the chuma was there. But now unfortunately, iko kwa pavement. So watu wakienda kuvuka, lazima washikilie ndio wasianguke kwa barabara in case kuna kagari kanakuja. Sasa unfortunately, sasa hiyo imetolewa. Now, what's next? Will the mosque be moved? Will that corner be demolished? Because ideally that's what should be done. Hiyo corner, specifically that corner where iko.
So watu watasikia ukuta tu bado.
Unajua Butita, kitu watu hawajui ni kwamba hiyo chuma hata ikitolewa wataweka ingine flyover, bado itakuwa ni chuma. Tukubaliane kwamba hatuwezi survive bila hizi chuma. Sasa we have to learn kutoshika chuma tu. Unapatana na chuma iko kwa kona baya unaishika. Watu wanapenda vitu ziko kona baya. Kitu si yako unaona sasa. Ona sasa. It is very dangerous.
But pia watu wako right sababu hiyo ukuta. Bado watu wanaweza endelea kushika hiyo ukuta. Hapo hivyo.
So unasema watapiga ukuta ama
so mimi nadhani ni tukue tu careful. Kitu yote iko in public. Huwezi jua nani alikuwa hapo jana ama leo asubuhi.
Yes,
kama hii ya matatu, hii ya juu. Mwana anashika vi comfortable sana. Mzee anaingia anashika anasonga nayo.
Lakini chuma zinakuwa na kautoto fulani kazuri. Si unajua hata tukiwa primary kuna ile chuma tulikuwa tunakalia hivi kwa stairs. Shwii.
Sawa.
Kuna vitu tutamu na utoto.
Speaking of chuma, we are going to go on a short commercial break, and when we come back we will be talking about this particular officer who decided to beat one of our journalists, and it's quite sad. For all of you, our fans who are calling us when we're busy giving points out here, what do you think is supposed to happen? Are we going to pick those calls? What do we do, guys? Do we pick those calls? Studio F.
Yes, Studio F is very live hapa. Tunataka kujua tu. Siko ubaya.
Anyway,
mimi hata shida yangu ni wase wa bank hizi text wanatumia.
Tatu wanakuambia nini?
You can now transfer 70,000 to your phone. From where? Where is it?
The kind of
every day you have a limit of what
150.
But now
yes. But anyway, guys, this is the thing about being a journalist, is that you're just doing your job and then a simple phone call can get you off guard completely. Now imagine you're on the ground trying to let the whole country know what exactly is happening, because it's very crucial there are times like this, media station like Nation Media Group gets to inform you what is happening. You're doing your job, you have your camera, your name is Peter Wainaina, and this cop is literally beating you up for doing your job. I mean, I don't know kama kuna anything inasema offside. Hii ndio the most offside thing I have seen this year.
Brother yangu. Kwa bana mimi nakusamea. Wewe ni kama brother yangu. Lakini hajafika 6. Sasa nyinyi mkituonyesha au wanatupiga mawe alafu 6 ifike wewe. Wewe mawe ukipigwa utafika. Wewe nichape tu. Toka hapa. Wewe endelea tu kunichapa haina shida. Nichape tu. Toka hapa enda huko. Endelea wewe. Unapanga mambo kwa line.
This is definitely a hero of the day. Uni hero wa hii maneno ya corona. He's definitely gonna remember.
Makosa yake ilikuwa gani kwani?
Kujobi yake.
Juu alikuwa ana film tu hapo. Lakini saa nyingine si utake vitu too far sana sababu unapata watu wako in authority saa nyingine wanataka kutumia excessive force kwa vitu zenye mnaweza ongea, unaona? Kama if there was an issue pale si wangeongea tu. Sioni mbona ile escalate to that level. Juu nimeona video za Mombasa kumekuwa na more of that sana. Watu kupigwa nini. But unaangalia unaona hii si protest, hii si ati kuna watu wana vandalize vitu. Ni curfew iliannouncewa, but tunawezaje kuwa na a seamless way of handling this?
Butita, the curfew was meant to be from 7 p.m. to 5 p.m. Basically saying that at 7 p.m. you should already be in your house. Ama kama unafanya kazi kama Nation, we baki tu uko ndani. Hii ilikuwa saa 11. You can even see from the daylight, from the angalia tu, hiyo ni mchana manze. I mean, unapiga mtu alafu anamwambia, there's something the GSU officer says. He says, nijueni brother yangu. Nijueni brother yangu. So what does it mean if he wouldn't feel he's like his brother angempiga more? And this is a disconnect that I want the government to be able to see today, that even in terms of when you wanna disseminate information on how people wanafaa kubehave time ya curfew, pia wale watu wako kule chini wako na low ranking officers wanafaa understand how to implement the curfew, because this is now making them look like the enemies. Now the real enemy here, guys, is corona, not the journalists. So I don't know kwa hiyo
Anto, unajua media iko part of essential services, eh?
Yes, broadcasting companies, which includes we. Yeah.
Yes, so anybody who asks for a broadcasting company basically is exempted from the curfew because it's an essential service that they need to offer to Kenyans. So mtu wa media hafai kuwa kisumbuliwa.
As much as wacha kidogo niseme kitu. Anto, you know what tunafaa kuangalia ni source ya hii shida. Polisi amepatiwa ameambiwa kutoka 6 watu wasipatikane nje. Wakenya wanajua hivyo. Kuna huyu jamaa ambaye anataka kufilm onyesha the situation at the ground. Alafu shida yetu ni moja, tuseme ukweli vile iko. D- ndio inafanya hii kitu yote. Ukweli kwani polisi wetu na wanachukuliwa na nini? Grade gani? Ukweli weka D- pale. Tuseme vile iko.
The executive decided to also take a pay cut. Watu kama akina Unye, DP wamesema wanachukua 80% cut.
Unajua kuna watu mshahara yao kikatwa bado inabaki 1 million.
Unajua mshahara ya our president ikikatwa anabakia na around 299,000. Now
haijafikia mshahara yangu hata haijakaribia yangu ya mwezi mzima.
That is small money, guys. Mahitaji yetu sisi watu wakubwa iko juu zaidi. Ni nini bana nyinyi?
Me all I can tell our boss who I know very much is watching very much. Anaitwa Madam Monica. Cut if kama itabakia hiyo amount, kata.
No, me I'd like to tell mdosi wetu, nahitaji hiyo pesa. Inakatwa ndio sisi tuipate. So yangu ni wachie.
Theodo, wewe unachukua pay cut, nasikia wewe unachukua pay cut anti-boss.
Nimekuwa kwa pay cut kwa muda.
Umekuwa ki-earn salary iko chini.
Inakatwa. Inakatwa kwa sababu ya tax.
Alafu unaona pia tulitolewa CRB. Okay, walisema
the one person ambao pay cut yake imecause controversy. Si ati ni pay cut, but he wanted his 50% of his salary cut is Babu Owino. And today he trended for that reason, but the hashtag was we hate Babu Owino. I do not know why, but he's wanting to be cut 50% of his salary has warranted online to go up in arms. Kenyans on Twitter are like, we hate Babu Owino. So cause sijui kama anaendelea kulipia bill ya yule jamaa pale hospitali ambaye alishoot his shot.
Actually
sasa akitaka kutoa kata 50% of his salary ambaye alispecify iende kusaidia residents wa county yake.
Haiduru. Anyway guys, as we end the show, there's a lot that has been happening, but most importantly is that we continue to social distance, we continue to sanitize and wash our hands every opportunity that we have. Now, that said though, tuliuliza swali pale at the beginning. Guys, sanitizer, in fact tumechange your topic sasa into sanitizer. Sanitizer ikaibiwa hapa studio.
By the mwache wizi.
Kuko na Butita, kuko na General Theodore Anto na Daddy Mato. In fact tutaongeza hapo ndani Cindy Ogana na Anita Nderu. Nani unashuku ameiba hiyo sanitizer Nation TV Studios?
Anita.
Hold up, Butita, why?
Hata mimi nakubaliana na Butita, ni Anita.
Why? You have to give a reason.
Ile umbo yake inapenda sanitizer.
I don't need nina champagne. Jendo Theodo, nani ameiba sanitizer Nation TV?
Mimi najua tu lakini wacha ninyamaze. Ati munaona evidence ndio hiyo sanitizer mumeiona nyinyi wenyewe. Tunatafuta kitu iko hewani. Tunatafuta kitu na mtu anakuonyesha na anapaguza tu hivi.
Hold up, don't steal our time. We gotta go. Butita, I'm sorry, we have to go. Butita, okay, what was your reason before ulie? Unapenda kulia sana.
Aina noma, mimi acha niende nikatwe mshahara.
Alright guys, we gotta go. Right about now, coming up is Ken Mijungu with the 9 p.m. news. And at 10 p.m. we have the Trend Live. Use the hashtag HeyAnto. We're gonna be with General Theodore. We're gonna show you guys a couple of games that you guys can play and social distance at home. And also guys, at a certain time at 11 p.m. we're gonna do an exercise. The whole country must be a part of this exercise. So stay tuned, keep it locked, and keep tweeting us as we continue to see your feedback. Use the hashtag TTTT. For now, twende. Keep a distance.